What's up, guys? Big Guy Bets back at it again with another free picks video. First off, I always like to say thank you for being here. If you are new, go ahead, pause the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell so you're notified every single time I post. Generally, it's really late at night or early in the morning. We're still trying to decide how that's going to work moving forward because I do want to try to get lines out every single day, but college baseball lines are really hard to get to, guys, and you guys know that is my thing. That is my jam. So if you guys are new and you're looking for a college baseball daily capper, I am your guy. I am the only guy on YouTube or anywhere that posts a free pick play every single day. And right now we are on an 8-3 run. We are on a 26-12 overall since I started doing these free pick videos. So for those of you that have been around for forever, you guys have been cashing quite a bit. If you're new, we're going to start a new win streak. This week we are 1-2. Last week we were 8-1 on free picks. So we're going to be looking to get back on that win streak. We've taken a couple different dicey ones, but again, when you're picking from a shit board, kind of how I said yesterday, that's kind of what happens. So without further ado, let's get into how yesterday went. For starters, I have my VIP card pulled up right here. Might as well get ahead of that right now. We had one play yesterday, one pick, one winner. It was the Dodgers money line parlayed with the Orioles Diamondbacks alt over 7.5. And that easily banged. I wouldn't necessarily say easily, actually, because the Orioles and Diamondbacks game was a little bit of a sweat. It came down to the bottom of the 8th, and the Diamondbacks hit a couple of solo shots to put us over that 7.5. The Orioles did not do their job at all, but the Diamondbacks pulled through for us. And then the Dodgers had a comeback win. I believe it was in the 7th when they ended up taking the lead, kept the lead, held the lead, and ended up cashing for us. So that one was a nice one. That was a 1 unit to win 1.2. So my clients walked away with 1.2 units on the day. So that's always positive, guys. Again, we like to build green. We like to see green in our account no matter how it is, no matter what the teams need to do. We love seeing green. So yesterday, one pick, one winner. It's hard every single day to kind of put out a bunch of plays because at the end of the day, guys, it's all about building your bankroll. If you want a lot of action, generally, I probably won't be the one for you if you want a lot of action every day. We're just looking for solid action, quality action, and slowly build our bankroll. So that's kind of how that went. Our free play, guys, Ohio State money line -110. If you guys listened to my last video, I believed that they would come out as dogs, which they probably should have. Maybe the books listened to my video, maybe they didn't, but Ohio State 9-20 on the season on a 4-game skid going back home against a team in Kent State that had won 11 in a row, which was, I think, tied for the largest hot streak in the country. And it became a point where I thought that this specific spot for Ohio State, playing against a team that may not be as good as them, not saying that Ohio State is good in any stretch of the imagination because they do average giving up 9 runs a game as a pitching staff. There was a lot of different things in this game that just stunk, but I knew that the books would come out at least, close even money line because of the fact that it is Ohio State. And I think this was a rat line to begin with. Ohio State came out as a -110 and immediately jumped. I don't know whether it was the Big Guy Bets movement from all you guys betting on Ohio State or what, but it went immediately to -135, and they kind of just stayed around there all day. So I guess what I'm saying is, guys, when a team that's 9-20 is going up against a team that's 19-11 on an 11-game win streak, and the team that's 9-20 is favored, we're going to be taking that every time. The books are telling you something that we don't. We knew that going into it. I didn't even know the line going into yesterday because I post my video a whole day before. So you kind of just don't know what those lines are going to look like. But they came out with a line that basically was saying that Ohio State was going to win the game, and it wouldn't make any sense to the average bettor, which we always want to be on that sharp side. And just yesterday, that sharp side didn't work. I'm willing to die on that hill of the sharp side because at the end of the day, Vegas needs to keep the lights on. So realistically, that shouldn't have probably happened. But Ohio State is dog shit at the end of the day. We knew that. I said that the slate was really bad, and it was really bad. So kind of tough to see, but if we're going to be giving a free pick out every day, and we're going to be holding our nose on a couple of these picks, just hoping for the best, especially when you're betting on Ohio State 9-20 team. But there wasn't much better on the board yesterday, especially value wise. So I'm gonna take that one on the chin, and we're gonna come back out swinging for this weekend, guys. So we're gonna probably win every free pick play from here on out the rest of the week, and I love to see it, love to feel it. So yeah, let's get into how today's looking and what I have going on on my store. Just real quick, guys, I still have a couple more passes left for my Baller for Life. If you use code Florida, you get 90% off, guys. I have 2 more slots available on my Baller for Life. Basically, like I've said before, it's basically me and you digging each other a hole, going in the dirt together once we're dying, okay? You guys are with me for the rest of your life. You're able to make as much money as you humanly can possible for the rest of your life, only for $500, 90% off using code Florida. Thank you, Gators. We have my weekend pass available. We have my April pass available. And with the April pass, guys, again, if you use code, I think this one is also Florida, you get 50% off your purchase, guys. This is the best, I think, right now. If you're not going to do the Baller for Life, this one's an amazing one. You're able to see your bankroll build for an entire month. Go ahead, check that out, guys. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and subscribe to my free plan, guys. It is absolutely free. You're able to get these free pick videos all the time. And if I'm feeling a little generous, I will be also posting an extra pick here and there. So go ahead, subscribe to that so you never miss a free pick, okay? Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into what we are liking for today. It is a small slate, guys, but it's okay. We're going to find value. There is a Wake Forest, North Carolina game, a Missouri, Florida game, South Carolina A&M, and a BYU, Utah. Again, 4 games that are honestly butthole clinching games. Nothing that jumps off the page initially. You really do have to dive into this slate in order to find a little bit of value, because Missouri versus Florida, yes, you look at Missouri 0-12 in the SEC against a well-known Florida Gator team, but they're 1-11 in SEC, have not looked good to this point in the year. I'm sure they're going to come out as a decently heavy favorite because Missouri could not hit. They can't pitch. They can't do anything realistically. Missouri has played. It just came off of a series against Arkansas, so maybe they're looking to battle back against a mid-tier Florida team. But definitely not a series I'm looking to bet, just looking to watch from the sidelines, seeing if any of these teams show us a little bit of fight. South Carolina, Texas A&M. South Carolina, a team that has looked a little bit more decent lately. Last week, we bet on the only loss that we ended up having last week was South Carolina to lose to Mississippi State. And that was on a Friday against Mississippi State's lefty, who's one of the best lefties in the country. And they ended up winning that game, but then losing the next 2. Of course, that's just kind of how gambling works. But that one specifically doesn't really pique my interest because this Texas A&M team has been hitting the ball well. Maybe they're, coming into form because they have been nothing but a piece of shit all year. They haven't won anybody money, including us here. But we have not bet on them. We've only bet against them since week 2. So again, a series I'm not really looking forward to, but definitely leaning A&M with the way they've been playing. BYU, Utah, another stinky series, an interesting series though. If I were to lean anything in this game, I would probably lean a game 1 under, and then from there, I really don't know. Probably BYU overall in the series, but BYU's pitching staff is nothing short of a sack of shit. So definitely not a series I'm really looking forward to. This one is the one we're going to be having our free pick in, guys. Wake Forest versus North Carolina, a top 25 bout. North Carolina is a team that we've been betting unders on all year, and that may be the case again today, guys. So let's dive into kind of how this is looking, especially Wake Forest, guys. Last weekend, they won the series in Tallahassee against a very solid Florida State team. They did lose Friday night against Jamie Arnold, the best left-handed pitcher in the country. So definitely, they can kind of note that. But the next 2 games, they went ahead and 10-run them at home, So very impressive, obviously, to say the least, but they finally started to hit, and that is something that we hadn't really seen. They only scored 2 runs against a mid-tier Georgia Tech team, 8-5, and then obviously the last few games here, not necessarily against UNCG. They did have Merrick Houston go out of this game, and Merrick Houston, their All-American shortstop, he did come out of this game with the sickness, but looking through all the reports, he should be ready to play today, so nothing to worry about there. But again, they've been hitting the ball well, especially the Florida State has their Saturday guy as one of the mid-season Golden Spikes watch lists. So when they're putting some bat to ball there, you always like to see that, especially against North Carolina, who has probably the best right-hander in the country. If you go ahead and check out who North Carolina has on the bump, guys, if you haven't listened to some of my videos before, he is an absolute stud. Jake Knapp didn't play all year last year because he did get hurt with his UCL injury, so didn't play the entire year last year, but has came into form this year. 45 innings pitched, guys, 31 hits, 11 runs, 8 earned, 45 Ks, a .186 batting average, and a 1.58 ERA. Absolutely impressive stuff, guys. He's been very dominant. What I will say, and we'll go ahead and look up his game by game stats right now, because the teams that he has pitched, he is an amazing pitcher. Don't get me wrong at all. Okay, so I really do like him. But the teams that he has pitched against, Duke, okay, last week, 7 innings, only 2 strikeouts, definitely not his best, and this was at home against a decent Duke team. I wouldn't say solid. Miami, definitely not a team that's very impressive. He didn't allow any runs there, 10 strikeouts there. Boston College, Louisville, a decent hitting team. Stanford, I mean, you don't really know. I guess what I'm saying, guys, I look at his stats specifically, and I'm like, has he really faced a team that I've been impressed with? Not really. Not at least hitting wise. And Wake Forest coming into fruition, coming into kind of who they maybe are as a team, hitting the ball well, that definitely makes me lean more towards the Wake Forest side. And when we go ahead and look at who Wake Forest has on the bump, this is where it kind of gets a little bit dicey, guys. So let's go ahead and check out Wake Forest. I don't know why we have Wake Forest like that. Wake Forest baseball roster. Hey, Hank, welcome back. That's a Boise State alum right there. Let's go ahead and check these guys out, because they are going to have a starter having his first start on a Friday night. He pitched last week against High Point, and he hasn't pitched since. We're going to go ahead and check this out, okay? Chris Levonis, 5 innings, 1 hit, 2 base on balls, and 10 strikeouts in his last start. He did pitch against High Point, so most of you guys would be like, yeah, High Point, not very good. Well, actually, they are pretty solid. They're 22-10 on the year, but one thing you always like to look at is their bio. Drafted 67th overall by the Milwaukee Brewers last year. Pretty impressive stuff. He has a fastball that tops out at 98. Pitched well in high school, so obviously has a good background. But when you look at his stats, Elon, 4 hit, like his last two starts that he's had, Elon, again, not in a great team, but 4 innings, 1 hit, 5 Ks. And again, like we kind of talked about, 5 innings, 1 hit, 10 Ks. What I'm trying to say is, guys, they are starting to give this guy a little more leeway. But one thing is, okay, so you're going from a midweek to a Friday night starter in an ACC matchup, okay? Very, very, very important, because their head coach is no dummy. He's been kind of fiddling out with and moving guys from Friday night guy to Saturday night guy, and he's kind of just trying to put his pieces together. But I think that he feels like he found his gem in this pitcher. So that you always like to note that for sure. But when you're like, okay, well, what has High Point really done? He had only allowed them to 1 hit and 10 Ks in a midweek game. This is High Point stats, guys. They're hitting .321 as a team, 71 home runs, which will be top 10 in the country right now, and an OBP of .436. So this team can hit, and he limited them to 1 hit and 10 strikeouts, guys. in one of his first main starts. So I think freshmen like this can bring the juice, and we're gonna hope that he brings the juice. I've got the Wake Forest kind of gold on. What I'm saying is we are going to be going ahead and taking Wake Forest on the money line on the road. I do like this play, and also if we can get an over-under, this is going to be a twofer. If we do get an over-under of anything 12.5, 13.5 or less, we're going to go ahead and take the under as well, guys, in this game. Anytime I see North Carolina, I immediately think under. It is going to be a little wet in this game. It's going to be raining and probably in the middle of the game. Love seeing the under there. I just do not know what this money line is going to come out at. I would assume that Wake Forest comes out as the underdog in this game. Again, I just believe that this team, they obviously hit a hell of a lot better than North Carolina. We're going to go ahead and look at their hitting stats real fast. But they've been playing well on the road. Again, Jake Knapp has not faced anybody worth a shit really hitting wise, and I think Wake Forest is his first real test. Wake Forest hitting .319 as a team with a .444 OBP. Do I wish that Ethan Conrad was playing a future All-American? Yes, but he's not, and we got to kind of deal with that. They have multiple other guys that can beat them, guys. So a lot of different guys in the top of their lineup that is hitting over 250. Their top three almost hitting all over 350. So very impressive stuff, at least hitting wise, from this Wake team. I just want them to continue their hot streak that they are. But when you go ahead and look at your UNC Tar Heels, guys, they just cannot hit. And if you're having a pitcher with a little bit of juice going against a team that does not hit very well, a 268 average, guys, with a 386 OBP, 39 total home runs, just not a lot of impressive stats. So I know that they're going into a very hostile environment, and this team is pretty impressive, obviously ranked, non-ranked. We're going to get Wake Forest at a good price here. So if we could get +2.5, that is great. I would go ahead and take that, because the books do not know what Wake Forest is capable of, especially their Friday night starter. But we do. At Big Guy Bets, we do. And I believe that, I don't care that he hasn't seen enough on a Friday night start, or I guess it's a Thursday night start, but he is going to be impressive. I think that guys like this that are selected high in a draft, obviously he's got some stuff, and I think that their coach isn't going to thrust them into a role that he's not ready for. So we're going to go with Wake Forest at least +2.5, +1.5. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on that money line, and then we're going to look at an under. Okay, so a twofer again. Anything under 12.5, we're going to go ahead and take. And that will be the 2 free picks for the day, guys. Again, I appreciate everybody. I know this was a long-winded one, but we really had to dive deep to find some value in the board today. Best of luck in all your bets, and we will see you for a huge, huge preview of the board tomorrow. Peace, guys. Love you. See you in the next one.